So this is the Aputure AL-MC, and this is the Vijim VL15 RGB, VL49 RGB, and this is the Ulanzi VL15. For the same price as just one of these, I got all of these things from Ulanzi. So let's compare them. Before we get started, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I bought all this gear myself. I just waste my money on camera gear during COVID. When I started getting into cameras and I realized how important lighting was going to be, I quickly came across the Aputure sets of lights. They look pretty much like this. It's like a small flat light you can kind of put anywhere. It's magnetic, you can stick it to things. Has a little tripod mount in the bottom. Has this little diffuser that you just put on. It's like made of silicone or something. Has some pretty easy to use controls, but one of the more interesting things about it is that it has a lot of Bluetooth compatibility with like a phone app called Sidus Link. So here I'm just going to go into the app. This is what it looks like. It's quite nice. So you can control the settings of this light directly. You'll notice it get really a lot brighter. It's also changed its color thing because I was setting it to a white mode. You can go to a color thing. I've saved a lot of color presets in here where I can set it back to something that matches my background now. There's effects. We got like police car mode. It's kind of cool. We got fire. We're in front of a warm fireplace right now. Ooh, it's nice. Pulsing. We got various effects. So these are supposed to be useful for filmmaking. I find the app extremely compatible with my phone. Like, it just connects every time and it rarely has issues. So we've got a cable for charging. This thing, it's helps you mount to any hot shoe. We got some double-sided sticky tape with Velcro in case you want to do that. You got like 3 of those in there. And then not only that, but this case is very nice for carrying around. It's got a little carabiner on here so you can like hook it on your belt or on your bag or whatever you want. Super good product. And I would recommend this to anyone. However, at the mid-year, there was like a sale and some really targeted marketing at me, and I was feeling purchasey. So I bought these things. And until now, I haven't opened them. I've had them for probably 2 months or something at the moment. So I thought, why not open these things up and we'll compare them directly to the Aputure lights. This is the Vijim VL15 RGB. And what you're gonna see is that this looks pretty much like the exact same product. Comes with cables, comes with a little mount, something that you could put into a hot shoe. So this is the Aputure light. It's got a nice red accent there. It has, you see the magnets on the back, the branding, nicely branded. And here we have the Vijim light, which is a weird name, to be honest. Don't know how to pronounce it, but I think I'm getting it right. So let's turn it on. Ha! I didn't charge it. Genius move by me. My understanding is it doesn't have any Bluetooth features, but basically I think it was, let's say, heavily inspired by the Aputure MC light. So we turn it on. It's not a nice switch. It's like a hold the button kind of situation. Aputure has a switch, which I just find a little bit nicer, even though it's more primitive. They are almost the same size. It's a little bigger. We got settings that ranges from 2500K to 9000K. We'll press this button again. Look at that, a cop car effect. What a novel idea. We got ambulance. This appears to be like a white and blue. So I don't know why ambulance has white and blue, but that's obviously a localization thing. Fire engine, red and white. Here it's all the same colors, I think. lightning. Fireworks. Wow. So amazing. TV. Again, heavily inspired. Candle. Cool idea. Party. Such a sick party. Faulty light bulb. Pulsing. Strobe. I mean, that's kind of cool. I think we can do something creative with that. RGB strobe. Paparazzi. Alright, thank you everyone. Thank you. Emergency. Oh yeah, like high low beam. Okay. Red flash. Green flash. Blue flash. HSI slow. I think this is going between all of the colors. HSI fast. Yeah. I think it's going through the hues kind of quickly. And then we're back to the start, cop car. The battery is 3100 milliamp hours. I assume that's going to be pretty good. 2600 milliamp hours on the Aputure MC. Interesting. Smaller battery, but it is smaller in size. It feels sturdier, but this does pretty much the same things. Next, let's look at the VL49 RGB. So here is the VL49 RGB. Hey, this one turns on. So you can see like a little bit of, you can control the hue. Oh, I mean, that's something nice, is that it's extremely bright. Though I'm not sure if you can actually change the brightness. Is that bright? Oh. So we've only got hue and then brightness. No saturation as far as I can tell. These are also magnetic, so they should stick on surfaces as well. Okay, and lastly we have this VL15. Comes with a little light. Looks perfect for putting on top of your camera. And what's kind of cool, that's common across all of these little lights, with the exception of the big one, is that these little lights have mounting points for anything else that you might want to put on your hot shoe. I mean, these are not hot shoe compatible, they wouldn't get powered from it, but what would we call that? Cold shoe? It just has light settings built in. So that's, you know, still kind of neat. You can do something with it. Do we get a white? There it is, a white. Not bad. So if you just want to light somebody's face from on top of your camera, it's not too bad. Like if you were moving around in a pretty dark room and you wanted to have a light mounted on your camera, I think this might be so cheap that you might kind of consider it. Of course, the Aputure alternative is going to be this one, and this is the Aputure AL-M9. So this one has like charging cables, a little mount. It's just a white light only, daylight light only. Though it's nice and big, it sort of has a diffused surface. It also comes with some gels. So if you want a blue tint or a tungsten gel. And again, it comes in a nice little carry case with a nice little carabiner. Let's look at this little Ulanzi Mini Tripod. It's actually called the Ulanzi Mini Tripod. So this seems kind of cool, especially if you're in a situation where you want to mount one of these little lights to it. I can see that being handy. Put something up there, set it down on something, get yourself a light. Except it's not a very, I guess it's okay. You know, you can kind of, you get about this much distance, so you're not going to move it around very much. Pretty cute. The Ulanzi MT08 extension tripod. Okay, it does kind of extend. It's lightweight. I recall it being extraordinarily cheap. So you could hold it out as like an extended grip and do your filming on the ZV-1. Get that extra distance that you need to actually be able to vlog effectively on one of these lenses that crops in a bit too much. And then I can spread out and tripod up. The grip bit is kind of rough. It's comfortable in your hand. Like, I don't think you would feel like you were gonna drop this if your hands get sweaty and stuff from holding it out all the time. So in that way, that's kind of good. And it's lightweight. Like, you actually don't want an especially heavyweight thing to hold out all of the time. So, you know, I think it's not really a criticism that this isn't a heavy tripod, though I don't think you're going to put anything much heavier than this camera on this tripod. But we can try to. We'll put my A7C with just a very lightweight lens on here. Yeah, I would actually do it. With this lens, I would do it. This lens weighs nothing though. I would consider it, at least. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's not the worst. You wouldn't put a bigger lens on this, I think. But let's try that. Let's get stupid. Gonna have to tighten this thing as much as it will take. It's just unscrewing itself. It's like, it's not even listening to me anymore. Where is it? Oh, it's just unscrewing from the actual camera. I can confirm that it does not hold the 16-35 lens. But you might get away with it with like the ZV-10 and a lightweight lens. Maybe. The ZV-1's fine though. The extension tripod, it's a bust for moderate cameras and above with any size lens apart from the smallest ones. At least you wouldn't hesitate to throw it in the camera bag if you needed it, or if you're just trying to prop something up somewhere like one of your B cameras, a lightweight camera. I wouldn't go out of my way to get it, but it's neat. Lastly, we get the Ulanzi ST05 versatile phone tripod mount. Nice. This is actually, so what I will say is this is one of the sturdiest phone mounts that I've seen. Hey, not bad. It's, well, you can't tell from that, but it's metal and it feels pretty nice. It has little tripod mounts in the bottom, 2 sizes of screw hole. I don't have anything that uses that very large screw hole. What's it for? Is it for vlogging? Maybe for vlogging. Or just putting your phone up as a camera somewhere. You know, this combo kind of works for me if I cared about vlogging on a phone. I can't say anything bad about that little mount. It's cool. I like that it even folds up really small. The only thing is that it's relatively heavy, but if you got a relatively expensive phone, you probably want a heavy duty mount. It's kind of alright. So what I think we'll do is we're going to charge these up. I'm going to shoot some B-roll and I will put captions so that you know which one I'm actually shooting with. So what did you think? Could you tell the difference? Hey everyone, the rest of this video looks different because I took about 5 months to edit it. So everything that you saw, that was like 5 months ago, and I had such a hard time putting this video together because I sort of filmed my reaction before I edited with the footage that I had, so my impression from using it and then filming with it and then editing with it, they were all different to each other. I'm just going to go through the lights and say what I think about each one of them. We'll start with the Aputure MC. I think it's easily the best in the lineup. These lights are really good. They're my favorite, probably because they were the most expensive, but I also think the quality is there. They're very high quality lights. They have a lot of utility. They're really good for creative video makers. Next is the Vijim 120 RGB. Now these lights, really the only difference between them is just how they function. This one you're going to be pushing the buttons to navigate through all the different modes, but this one you could use the Bluetooth thing if you wanted to, and you can do additional advanced things. But for the type of person that's maybe just shooting videos of products and stuff, and you're happy to set it up on the product that's in front of you and you don't need to light some scene, I thought that this performed really good. And on the skin tone test, which you would have seen, the vector scope that you see was isolated just to my face area, more or less. So apart from some blue shadows that you'll probably get from the bounce light in the room, it should be pretty accurate. And this was, you know, it was fairly close. It's not something you couldn't like color correct in post to get the skin tones back on the line. It was just a little off the line. The Aputure ones, they were pretty much dead on the line, both lights. We got the Aputure AL-M9, the first light I ever owned. This one's okay. Its diffusion is just not quite as good as, you know, these ones. So I thought it had a bit of a harsher look that I didn't prefer. But again, the light color was like right on the skin tone line. It was very good. It's just not as useful for creatively lighting anything because it doesn't do RGB. So that's where these types of lights, they really like show their value. Ulanzi VL49 RGB. Using it again for the second time, I thought it was pretty good. The colors that you get out of it are not as interesting in my opinion. They just look a little bit more muted and you don't have control over the saturation, so I thought that that was their weakness. They're also extremely bright. Like I had to turn them all down to 12% just to get a similar kind of level of lighting. So they're really, really bright and they're not as diffused, so maybe they'd be good behind some diffusion or something like that, and you know, you could do some creative things there. For their price, I think they're pretty good value, and yeah, they seem good. If you're just like lighting products and stuff, they're pretty good. They weren't too much worse than this VL120, so they're both, you know, not so bad. The last one, this VL, I think it's VL30. This one's skin tones is just horrible, like skewed way towards magenta. It was not good at all. It's also really small, so it's RGB. It's like, it's okay. It does something cute. The light itself is just so cheap. If you happen to get it, I don't think you would really regret it for its price. And it kind of does that RGB cycling, but you don't really have that much control over its settings. You can't select a specific hue or anything. So for that reason, this light is obviously the worst of them all, but I don't think anyone was expecting anything different. And because of its size, it has this diffusion thing, but it doesn't really do anything because it's just so small. Overall, what would I say to somebody who is thinking of getting these lights? I'd say if you don't have the budget or the inclination to go the Aputure route and you don't think you need all these advanced professional features, then you probably don't. And these types of lights, you could probably get 2 or maybe more for the same price as just one of these. And if you were just like lighting products creatively and you wanted something RGB and, you know, fairly good size and whatnot, I think it would be a great choice for you. Performance wise, they're not terrible. Like the skin for the 6500K was okay. All the things you shot were at the same settings. On the camera, I kept that all the same the whole way through, and the vector scope was masked to my face, so you're only seeing the skin tones. And they're a little bit polluted. This isn't really like a accurate testing environment. I wasn't being like really specific about everything, but it was pretty interesting that there was like a very clear difference when you look at the vector scope and the skin tone line, that, you know, Aputure was nailing it every time. And the Ulanzi, they were like doing okay for their price. I would say they're like acceptable. Cool, so I'll just let my other self do the outro and whatnot. So hope to see you soon. I hope this was helpful to you if you were looking for lights. If there is anything you want to know about any of the gear that you've seen me mention, just hit me up in the comments and I will try to answer that for you. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with another video.